Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So this is gonna be my first long form video. I usually post like a lot of shorts, so I want to do like a long form video to talk to you guys about all the books that I've read this month. I read 16 books this month, so let's talk about them chronologically, and we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the in between. Alright, so take grab a drink and go along. So the first book that I read this month was How to Buy Your Neighbor to Win a Wager. This is like a super cute vampire story set like in a fictional California. We have Vincent who's like a vampire but he's too poor to buy blood out of like the black market. So he usually go out room and he take blood from people when they're sleeping. We have like other main character Wesley. Um who's like his mom just died and he's pretty sure that this pharmaceutical company killed his mom. And in order to get access to the company, he had to bring in a vampire. So when one night, Wesley called Vincent drinking from him, he gave him a bargain. He's like, "Oh, you can fill up for me, and I can just be your friend." And, but he actually wants to take you to a pharmaceutical company so he can get more information about why his mom is dead. So this was actually like a super cute, super informative story. It was very nice. I was getting out of like a reading slump, so taking me out of my slump was really nice. So I gave it 4 star. It talk about like how vampirism is like a disability, which when you think about it, it is because vampire they had to rely on blood, they don't have to go in the sun and all of that. So that was super nice to actually talk about. And the next book that I actually read was Phyllis Ever After by Kirsten Calendar. Okay. This is about Phyllis Love, before a main character, Phyllis Love, who ironically has never been in love. And he's trying to fix that when like this one summer he's going at a summer school and he's trying to like find love. And somebody put his picture before he transitioned in the gallery of the school with his dead name on it, and he's trying to get revenge. And he set his eye on this guy that he doesn't like. He's like, I'm pretty sure he's the one that did it. And we're trying to get revenge. We find himself on this like a love triangle situation with like the bad guy, his best friend, and he's trying to also catfish the bad guy. So it's a whole other situation. This is like a very wonderful story. We talk about like Philip's identity. He's black, he's trans, he's bi. I think he's gay or he's bi. It's one of them. Because I'm pretty much he's like he's gay. So no, he's bi. He's bi. So this is a very wonderful story, and I also gave 4 star because by the end, even though like him and his best friend were also having this love like triangle situation, there wasn't like a lot of development on page development with between him and best friend. You can see that they love each other at the beginning, but toward the end, it wasn't like I just wanted more of the. This is a beautiful story, and I would totally recommend this like to everybody. Okay. The next book that I read after that was one of my favorite books that I read so far this year is The One with Chris Planning a Wedding. Okay, this is like a beautiful sapphic story. We follow the one in Chris who like this is like a reality TV situation where they have to fool their parent or their family to say that they actually like gonna get married, but Devon is using this opportunity to come out to his parent, and Chris is actually going to the reality TV show to actually find love. This is a super cute story, and I loved it. Okay, I think this will do wonder on TV, and I'll give it 5 star. Right? This story was wonderful. I want everybody to read this. And okay, the next book after that was I Think They Love You by um Julian Winters. Okay, this book, I don't know how I feel about this book. Okay, I didn't give it like any rating because I didn't know what to read it, but I didn't put like a review on it. So this book is following Denzel, who's like he work at his family business, and his dad is trying to retire. and they don't want like the CEO position to go to anybody outside of the family. And so his dad's trying to like find somebody in the family. And Denzel is not qualified. He himself said that he's not qualified, but he entered this competition with like some people so they can win the the CEO position. And also, so his family are telling him that he can't take it seriously because he's not in a committed relationship, so he's trying to fake date his ex that broke his heart like 5 years ago or so many years ago. This whole thing is just, yeah, it's a lot. Okay, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't like this. Honestly, I don't like it because there's some aspect that I actually like about it because Denzel has a lot of insecurity that would handle very well. But and then the romance aspect of it also is like I don't see it. Okay, I didn't feel the romance. I didn't feel the love that I was supposed to feel. I didn't feel any of that. So I don't know. And also the CEO competition, Denzel, he's not qualified to be a CEO. That's my thing. He's not qualified to be a CEO. He himself said that like the first chapter, he said he's not qualified, but he's entering this competition anyway because uh his sister's like, well, you can't commit to like a serious relationship, so you cannot commit to be a CEO. I mean, if you're going to be petty, I mean, at least be petty. I love being petty, but I don't think he's doing it to be petty. And it's just like the whole thing is weird. And his dad also, he's seen like his children suffer because he know that his children are not happy. Okay, it's not even to say it's not like his sister also. He said that they're not happy, but he's trying to raise them. I know like this like a black woman, so I know like a lot of in the black household, if you like you're black, you know that like they're gonna want the best way because apparently the world is gonna see you as black first, and he's trying to tell him that, but at the same time, why is your children fearing you in something that I don't I say I didn't I didn't hit the book, but it's just I don't know how to read it. I don't know. It's weird. That's the thing. And also the auntie in this book. Oh my god, this auntie needs to learn how to be nice. Okay, I didn't like that. Any of them. Okay, the side family, like Denzel side of the family is weird. And then our love main character, we don't know enough about him. Okay, I feel like he was just there to be there. Okay, I didn't even know enough about him. His side of the family, there was just like some stuff here and there, and that's it. Um, But yeah, some part of the relationship also was okay. I don't know. The whole thing, it was I don't know. Okay, this book confused me in a lot of way. All right. Okay. So let's just move on. Okay. The next book that I read was this super cute comic. It's called Landlord Move. And this was wonderful. This follows Sebastian, and he just left like the human Paris because this book is set in Paris. He just left the human Paris, and now he's up in fantastical Paris, where he's living with like his in the building so he can be close to his aunts because his parents they don't have magic and they trying to like suppress him or some kind of thing like that. And the first night that he's in Paris, he saw like this cute vampire that he kissed, and then he freaked out. And when the next day it turns out that they live in the same building. This was super cute. This was like the first installment, and you know I'm gonna read the rest of it on Webtoon. Yeah, on Webtoon. So I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. I'm gonna show you like um like the design and everything. It's very cute. I loved it. This was very nice. I actually loved it. And there's like a lot of diverse. Everybody is like very diverse. So I really enjoyed that. And I think the next book that I read after that was yeah. So the next book that I read after that was Hamilton Luck by Makana Yamamoto. Oh my god, this was super. Yeah, this was nice. I enjoyed this book. So this book is like a sci-fi with the love letter to Hawaii, and is it follow our main character Edie, who has just been let out of prison on parole, and as soon as they get out of prison, they found that their ex best friend turned enemy, Yeah, basically. And she want them to join her for one last heist. So they also trying to like get their family out of poverty. So this was beautiful. It's about gentrification, and we have like a misfit because they're trying to like gather all of these people so they can pull the heist. So there's like a misfit that like not good. The whole cast is lesbian. Okay, there's like a him lesbian. There's like a butch lesbian. There's some trans women. This was like a beautiful story. Let me show you like uh you know the character that's in here. Like look at this. These are our main characters. Like look at that. That's amazing. Okay, this is like the limited edition of this book, and I just love it. Like I said, I enjoyed this book. They gave me like 4.5 star. The only reason it was like a 5 star is because there was this scene in here that I did not agree with, so that's why I took like the five the 0.5 away. Other than that, it was like it could easily be like a 5 star. And I wish it was like a little longer. You know, that was that. The next book that I read after that was one of the worst book that I read this year so far, okay? And that's like Throwing Lesson by Jasmine Guillory. Okay, so the premise of this book is we follow Avery and Taylor. So Avery is what's the thing called? So Avery is bi, and she just got a, like a long term relationship with her boyfriend, and now she trying to learn how to flirt with women. And we have Taylor, who like a certified flirt. You know, she know how to flirt with everybody. She can flirt everybody pants down. You know, she doesn't want like a relationship, and she's a lesbian. And Taylor and her best friend made a bet, and her best friend's like, "I give you this summer. If you like, you didn't sleep with anybody." Then you know I owe you something, and if you did end up sleeping with somebody, then you have to pay my baby shower. So to distract herself, Taylor want to give like 30 lesson to Avery. That's like a very nice premise. And when I start this book, oh my god, my problem with this book, first the writing. This was written like a third person point of view, but it's like a dual POV. So I don't mind that. Okay. So when you are changing POV on the same page without no warning, that's when it pisses me off. Because what, like, who's talking? I want to know who is actually talking on the page. The writing was very juvenile. It was just this like a there's like a books that I've read on Wattpad that are like even better than this because sorry, my light just died. So we're just gonna do this way. Because why is the writing so bad? Like on page, like on the same page, they just like to paragraph, you're changing POV, and it just confuses people. And outside of that, it's just like the slushing. Okay, Taylor had a whole friend group that just slushing her the entire book, and I'm like, Why, why, why would you do that? That was weird. Okay, that was weird for me, and it's just the romance was barely there anyway. So it's just I don't know. I hated this book. I don't like this book at all. So that was that. I'm just gonna stop talking about it because every time I think about it, it just pisses me off. Next book that I read, this one also was disappointing because I wanted to love it so bad. Was The Prospect by Kitty Huffman. Oh my God, the way I wanted to love this book. Okay, this book has been on my TBR for a long time. Okay, and I just want to love it, but it was just like a little bit, not even a little bit. It's a lot of baseball. Okay, there's a lot of baseball going on. I don't know anything about baseball. If you don't know anything about baseball, this might not be the book for you because there's a lot of baseball going on here. And the story is equally about the sport and about also like the relationship. So we have Gene, who's like the first trans man to be led in the minor league, I think. I don't know what it is. And and you have like the our other main character who's the middle Louis. So they used to go to college together, and now they're on the same team. And I can see why people would like this. Okay, I think I give this like 3 star because I can see why. And I think I was going to be generous with the three stuff because I can see why people will love this, but me personally, I just don't like it. I think it's average, and I wish the romance between them was a little bit more, okay? And sometimes some book need like a two-person point of view to actually, you know, be good. I think this one need to have like a second POV so I can feel connected to the characters because I didn't feel anything at all for this character. So that was the problem. That was bad. I'm sorry. That's also going on. And also the next book that I read after that was also disappointing, and that was Triple Seg by TJ Alexander. Okay. So this one, I think I gave it like 2.5 star. So Triple Sec by TJ Alexander, a full main character Mel who's a bartender. And one night, there's like this lady that came to the bar that she had an instant chemistry with. Her name is Bibi. And then she found out that Bibi is actually married to Cade. Okay. Well, Cade and Bibi, they are like oh my god, word. So they actually like a polyamorous relationship. So even though our baby has a wife, Kate is non-binary, but she like to be called like her baby's wife. So after that we have Mel who she doesn't want to be in a relationship. She just wants to have like a good or like a hookup and be done with. And for the first 30%, she already fell in love with Baby. They're saying I love you, and she was just like this like silly miscommunication that got resolved in the first like 30 to 40% of the book, and I'm like, okay, so let's see how this is going. The whole is like the character felt so one dimensional. That's the thing. They're so like one dimensional. There's nothing else going on. And also Mel and Cade for the first 70% of the book, they didn't their relationship wasn't there wasn't like a setup for the relationship. I genuinely didn't know that, Mel and Cade were also gonna be in a relationship. I thought it's just gonna be like a really nice friendship between them so it can be better partner for BB. But then this might come as a spoiler, I'm sorry. But then they found themselves stuck in this like cabin, and then suddenly they confess that they actually like each other. And I'm like, since when do you like each other? Yo, yo, talking to each other. This whole book, there was no setup for the relationship. It's like Mel and Bibi, they were actually physically attracted to each other, but like the romance wasn't there. Like, okay. This book is like if you want a good poly relationship with a good communication, because they do have like a good communication going on between them, okay? And you want like a very good representation, like a non-binary character with a lesbian and all of that, you will find it in here. If you want romance, I find it in here. It's not in there. It was weird. It was just the whole thing was like, oh, like, what is going on? Okay. I just finished the book and I'm like, well, that was that. That was weird. So I don't know. I don't know. I might recommend it, but if you don't like it, please don't come for me, okay? Alright. And the next book that I read after that, because I read like all of those three books that I just mentioned back to back, so that was that was a struggle, okay? And I read them back to back like in the same week, and that week was horrible for me. And the book that actually saved my week was Sweet Like Honey by Erica Alexander. Oh my god. When you want like a sweet story, the spice is also like, yeah, you should definitely check this out. Okay, so we have Drew and, oh my god, Adrian. Oh my god. Why am I blanking? So we have Drew and Adrian who went to college like 5 years ago, and they only spent like one semester together for their senior year, and they fell in love with each other. But they didn't confess the feeling because they know that after college they're going their separate way. And 5 years later, when they came back together, um, Adrian find like Drew in this like clothing store, and she's like, I'm not messing this up again, okay? So, oh my gosh, just saw Drew, and she's like, yeah, I see you. If you don't like Insta love, this might not be for you. Because it's very much so Insta love, and I ate it up. I just ate it up. Okay, I gave it 4 star. Even though this is like a very sweet story, it have like some heavy thing going on, and you should definitely take a trigger one because there's like a lot of heavy themes that they talk about in this book. I love this is my first Erica Alexander book, but I actually love the way she write because she write like slice of life. So when our character will get like together early in the book and then the rest of the book we just like follow them as like months go by, like a year go by. So I actually loved it. I actually loved it and I adored it. That book like saved me from going to like a slump, okay? Because after the story that I just finished, yeah, I was heading straight into a slump. Okay. And the next book after that was Imogen, obviously, by Becky Alberta. So we have Imogen, who's like find herself like the greatest ally ever, and she has like a lot of queer friends. Most of her best friends are queer. Her sister is queer, so she go to like the queer meeting at her school every week, and she just ally, great. And one weekend, one of her best friend Lily, she invited her to come to her college, and also Imogen is going to the same college, so she's going to go there and have like feel of the college. And when she went there, Lily is telling her that she lied to her group of friends that she found in college, her queer group of friends that she found in college that they used to date because, she was feeling not so good about herself and she wanted to be presented as more in front of them. And Imogen's like, oh, that's nice. So she goes with it. And when she start having like a little feeling for one of like her best friends, that's when she started questioning her identity. This book I think this was very nice. It talked about Cuphead. This is, yeah, because we have like Imogen, who's obviously she basically bi. It's just right there in front of her, but she had this other best friend who's Gretchen, who's also bi. But Gretchen problem is that she was like bullied a lot because of her sexuality. So now she's trying to gatekeep the LGBTQ community. So she's trying to gatekeep queerness. And so she's always in like a Gretchen ear by telling her like all this stuff. No, not Gretchen ear. She's always like in Imogen ears telling her all of this stuff. So, Imogen should listen to all of the gay media, all of like the gay songs. So this book, it talked about a lot of stuff. I wish the author gave Gretchen a little more grace than she did because you can obviously that she's going through a lot. That's why she was saying what she was saying. So that's really first stuff. Because even though like he talked about like a lot of kind of stuff that we need to talk about as a queer community as a whole, like not force people to come out and and all of that, like the situation that happened with Kid Comer and all of that stuff. He also talked about that. But I wish he should have given Gretchen like a lot more grace because she was going through a lot, okay? She was going through a lot and she was saying some stupid ass shit. Sorry. Was she saying some stupid ass shit? Yeah, she was. But you can see she was very young because she is very young in the book. This is like a new adult because they were 17 going on 18 and they're going to college. So I would say like a new adult. Why it's a new adult? So she was very young and she went through a lot in her life. So that's why she was saying all those stupid ass shit. So, yeah, that's my thought on it. The next book I read after that was Can't Spell Treason Without T. This was a cozy fantasy, and it's like my very first cozy fantasy, and I actually loved it. I gave it 4 stars. And this story follow Ren and Kian as Ren is like a knight, for this empire, and the queen is actually the worst. And Kiant and Rena. Okay, not Rena. So Kiant and Rena, they've been together for like 2 years now. And Kiant is always telling Rena that they can just like leave, and they can just like she can just leave, okay, and go to like one of the neighboring kingdom, and they can open up a bookshop and a tea shop. Oh, this is so sweet. It's very cozy. I think a lot of people say if you like legends and like it, I think that's the book name. I never read it before, so they say if you like that, you might also like this one. So that's that. And it's not like low stake, cozy fantasy, like medium stake, like cozy fantasy. And I cannot actually wait to finish like the rest of the story. And the next book after that was I Planet Barbarian. Okay. One of my videos on TikTok, she made me read this book, okay? That was crazy. Okay. I think like everybody know what this is about. This is something like this girl, she's human that got kidnapped out of like her house when she was sleeping by some alien, and those were the bad alien. And they left them stranded on this planet they don't know anything about. And while she also trying to find like food for some of the girls, she stumbled upon like this other alien who's apparently a big guy, and the alien it's like considered as her mate. This was ridiculous and it was fun. Okay, that's what it was. And will I do what she was doing while she was keeping up on like a strange planning? No. Okay, because why is homegirl? She just passed out and she woke up and she want this strange alien between her leg. Why are you not screaming? Why? This is, I'm like, girl, why are you not screaming? I would have like screamed on top of my lung, okay? But for what it was, it was killing. I gave it like 2.5 star because I could not find like a higher rating than that. Okay, I could not give like a higher rating than that. I enjoy myself. That's what I can say. I actually did enjoy myself. So yeah, if you want like a good old fun time, I think this is like a 30 book in this series. I don't know. I only read the first one, and I think I'm just gonna stop at that one. Yeah. If you have a good fun time, this is definitely one that you should read. All right. And the next book I read after that was This Ravenous Fate by Haley Denman. Okay. I give this book 3.25 star out of 5. The premise of this book is we have Elise, who's from like this vampire hunter family, and Layla, who's a vampire, and it's set like 1920 Harlem. That's nice. Okay, Sapphic saying 1920, looking very black and black. Me, love. And I wanted to love this book. I wanted to love it and make it my whole personality. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. So I think like what got me is like the marketing part because I was this book was marketed to me as a vampire hunter and a vampire. Elise wasn't a vampire hunter. Her family is in a business that produced bullets, and they were training like a lot of people so they can get rid of vampire. She was in Paris this whole time because something that happened like 5 years ago. So she went to Paris. She's not even trained. She doesn't know how to even operate a gun. Okay, so she was barely a vampire hunter, and that's where like that part I didn't like very much, and it also promised like a lot of female rage. It wasn't present. Yeah, so the female rage it wasn't very present. You know, Leila was angry sometimes, rightfully so. But would I call it like a rage that I was looking for? No, I wouldn't call it that. I think the way this is set up, the female rage might be more present in the next book because I think it's going to be like a duology or trilogy, and I don't know. I just know it's going to be like a series. So the female rage might be present in the next book. Okay, the plot is very predictable at some point, and the writing was very slow. Okay, the first like 20% of the book, if I wasn't listening to it, I don't think I would have continued. And the middle was okay, and then the end, I wasn't like the biggest fan of the end. I like the relationship between Elise and Lila. I actually love the relationship between both of them, but the plot wasn't, it wasn't there. I wasn't a big fan of it, and most of it was actually very predictable. So that was that. I love the way it talked about like because you have Leila who actually uh, hate whatever Elise family stand for, and also, one of the thing is like they used to be best friend. They used to be like a childhood best friend before it later got turned into a vampire. And this world they call them Reaper. So that's very, the tension also was there. So I love that part. And Layla hate everything that Elise family stand for. But at one point, she got so desperate that she was falling for their propaganda. And I love that aspect. Like, when you get like so desperate that, you're falling for betting propaganda, because that's what it was. It was like right down the picture, like, oh my girl, you're falling for it. This is the propaganda at its finest. And also talk about like class between like, even between like the black community, because Elise, even like her father, is very rich. So even though it was in 1920 Harlem, um, they associate a lot with white people. And Layla, she was at once, at the same position after she turned into like a reaper. Now she fell into grace. So Elise, at the beginning, when she was getting on my nerve, but her character development, like during the book, was actually very amazing, and I love that book. Those are the aspects that I actually love about the book, but it's just the plot was very shaky and the writing was very slow. So that was that. Would I recommend this book? Yes. And I cannot wait to actually read the second one, because I think it's coming like late this year or early next year. And I actually want to read like the second book in the series. Okay. And let's see. The next book that I read was Himbo Hitman by Saxon James. This is like easily 5 star. If you want a good old time, laugh your ass off, yes, this is gonna be the book for you. Okay, so we follow Perry. Oh, sweet child Perry. Sweet summer child Perry. Okay, Perry is trying to be a hitman. I cannot think of this without laughing. He's gonna be like a hitman, but he doesn't know anything about being a hitman because he's broke. His sister is worried about him, and he doesn't want to worry her anymore. So he's trying to be a hitman, but he cannot actually like kill anybody. He's terrible at it. So what he does is like he tell people that you can pick his sword to me, that you go into hiding, so I can tell the people that I actually kill you, but you actually go into hiding. And this is like he did it the first time, the second time, the same. So the third time, his target was St. Clair. And St. Clair, his brother just like disappeared out of nowhere. Okay, his brother just finished. They just opened like his new club, and it was like he's like, what's going on? And when one night he's out about, he's trying to find his brother. That's when like Perry came along to show him, and he grins his ear, and he's trying to tell him like, just pinky swear that you go into hiding so I can tell the people that actually shot you. Oh my god. So Sinclair, he didn't do that, okay, because he's like, what's going on? Why are you trying to kill me? And are you connected to the people that actually took my brother? And when like the you know turns out that he didn't kill him, now both of them had to go on a run because whoever was after Sinclair is now after both of them, and they had to go on a run, and now they're falling in love one doing so. This was just like a good old time. I laughed through the whole book, and it was just like a fresh of air. If you want something that's gonna make you laugh, and the plot was actually very interesting, okay? It wasn't just like a giggling. The plot was actually very interesting, and I just loved it. So that was that. And the last book that I read this month was Dragon Fruit by Micaiah Lewis. Oh my god, this was wonderful. Okay, this is like a Pacific Islander mythology inspired, and oh, it's just okay. So the premise of this book is how Hanale, who has been in in exile for a long time because of like the crime of her father. And due to some series of events, she found herself back on the island and she's trying to right the wrong of her father. In order to have Sam, who's like the prince of the island. But he cannot inherit the throne because it's a matriarchal society and his mom is very ill. His grandmother is gonna be like at the end of his reign soon, and the only way he can inherit the throne is either by marriage or find this like a sea dragon egg or dragon fruit so that he can save his mother. And he doesn't want to get married at all. So when like both of them when Hannah found herself back on the island, so both of them are set out to go find this sea dragon egg called dragon fruit. But the problem is they're not the only one looking for this egg, and a lot also is going on at the same time. This is like a very easy fantasy to follow. If you're like new to fantasy, you should definitely check it out. The writing was excellent, the pacing was amazing, it was very fast paced, and I loved it. I just loved it. The world of it was like very colorful and it was very unique. Okay, I never read anything about it, anything like this before, so it was very unique, and I enjoyed it. I wish like the book was longer, and the end wasn't my favorite. I think I gave it like 4.25 because the end wasn't my favorite, but it was also very nice. The writing was excellent, so yeah, that was like all the book that I read in May. Thank you if you're still watching. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to. Only if you want to. Alright. Thank you guys. I've been talking for a long time now. Thank you guys and I'll see you guys later. I'm going.